We're recording.
Okay. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Community Committee being held on the Tuesday, the 14th of July. Item 1 on the agenda to receive apologies for absence.
Councillor Martin Edwards.
Thank you. Item 2 to note declarations of members' interests. Is there anybody wishes to declare? No. Thank you. Item 3 to confirm and sign the minutes of the Community Committee meeting held on the 26th of May. Do we have any comments or any amendments that we want to raise? No. Okay. So proposed, Councillor Graham, seconded, Councillor Hogben, all those in favour? So
Martin abstained.
yeah, and against those abstaining, Councillor James Francis, thank you. And Councillor Faisy, thank you.
And there you go, keep signing this.
Very lovely. Right, item 4, public participation. A period not exceeding 15 minutes for members of the public to ask questions or submit comments to related items on the agenda. We have no members of the public attending to receive any questions.
No, we haven't.
No, thank you. On then to item 5 to review the year-to-date financial position for the Communities Committee. Can I ask the clerk to?
Yeah, sure. Everything is as it should be, as always. The accountant seems to put things in weird columns, but it all does balance, and I'm happy that it's.
Yeah. Any questions, members?
No. So,
Do I have? Sorry, Councillor Rhodes.
Bearing in mind that we're sort of 2 months into the year. We've only got 86,000 left.
That's because we paid the library, and every single person, apart from 2 that we agreed to fund, I've paid, and they've done this over level agreement. So we're really quite up to date. Obviously, we've still got remembrance to pay, but that's exactly as it should be. We'll have a bit of a lull now in that we won't be paying everyone, but the library was 40-something thousand. That's why, and we paid those last month.
Oh.
So
I thought that was why.
Yeah. Okay. Person. Is that okay then?
Right, no further questions. Do I have a proposer, please? Councillor James Francis, seconded. Councillor Graham, all those in favour? That's unanimous, members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6 to consider the matters related to grant applications. Want to go through those, please?
Will do. So Katie isn't with us today. She's on holiday, so I'll go through them in her absence. So St Paul's Centre. That was deferred at the last meeting, subject to further information being sought. I know that Dawn and Sally, for the records, Councillor Clark and Councillor Graham have been through them. And I think you felt that you didn't want to fund the book because it was something they were going to sell.
Yes.
So therefore that was removed. There is a revised proposal on page 7 from them. And I think what we're doing is asking members whether they would consider funding the Crew's Got Talent showcase only. I mean, obviously you've got to look at the book as well, and we do need you to decide on that. But I think you and Sally felt that it wasn't appropriate. Yeah, so
Which I know they're flowing back into the charity, but nonetheless.
But it doesn't fit our.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Crew's Got Talent showcase is there for 1,500. And they've revised the application.
Yeah, so it's $750 for the technical support of speakers costs at the workshops, and the Crew's Got Talent showcase $750. So the proposal is £1,500.
Yeah, that's on page 11. If anyone wants to see.
So can you say? Sorry, I think we got here now. So we're funding the Who's Got Talent show.
And the Maiden Crew, community stories, the technical support, So this, Councillor Rhodes.
Right. And it's not. There's been discussions about using the John McBride Trust. And one of the suggestions that the park went away to actually look at was combining all history of Crew.
Yes.
So my question is, does this committee want to fund that, bearing in mind our limited grant? when they could be funded from somewhere else. Because otherwise, we need a coordinated approach to what we're doing with the stories. The suggestion from the little working group from John McBride was that it was an oral history which was stored in the new archive centre, which would be stored in a way that would be available to future generations. And it would be owned by co-owned with Cheshire East. So it would be not just one community that has got its own little story.
Yeah.
It could be part of a much bigger project. So my question is, do we defer that until we know what's happening with John McBride? Because they potentially could have that money from the John McBride Trust to do that piece of work. Because I think there's about 63,000 in the John McBride Trust.
See, I believe that the clerk is actually seeking a project, somebody to deliver that oral project, which wouldn't be these, it would be a wider
Well,
organisation.
there's no reason why.
No, it couldn't be split up.
So I
Technically, we
suggest
need
defer
to
that.
ensure that they're using the right sort of systems that talk to each other and that, you know, but I'm sure that's technically wise can be sorted. So
I think they are because this has been deferred once, and I've just made a suggestion. I don't think it would be good to defer it again. I think that perhaps if we defer it, taking on board Jill's comments, it could be delegated to officer and chair. And of course, Liz would have an involvement in that, as you would when we look at the John McBride Trust, so that we can find out more. And I think they're thinking of delivering it around about September, October time, Dawn, is that right?
yes, yeah.
So I think there's not an awful lot of time. They probably need to know whether or not they've got it or not to proceed with it.
My point is, if we fund this belongs to St Paul's.
I agree with
We don't have any ownership,
Yeah.
or do we? Because
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
maybe we can make it
Yeah,
that,
we can
that
make it
it's
so.
shared with us to
But I
contribute.
think that 750,
Mhm.
bearing in mind we've got a lot of grant, could probably be taken from elsewhere.
Right. Could I propose then that the 750 for the crew get
Talent
got
showcase.
talent showcase comes out of the grant scheme, and then at the 750 for the community stories collection comes out of the John McBride Trust.
Well, we'd have to talk to the Clark Bank, wouldn't we? But the events committee agreed to use some money out of the John McBride Trust last night.
I did say, okay.
For an artist to
Yeah,
support.
I haven't seen this today, so
Right.
okay.
So I think that needs a discussion between the clerk and officer and chair as to.
So can we
Okay.
delegate that
Yes,
decision
yeah,
to officer and
yeah.
chair?
Yeah,
Okay.
Councillor White.
Thank you. Just making a comment. For all the history resources are really easy to collect, very difficult to store in an organised way and to share with future generations. So I think it's a really good idea to lay out synchronised and so on. Because you have
Yes.
little bits here, little bits
Right,
there.
okay.
It's as good as having it in
So we also need to have a conversation with this organisation
What organisation that Liz is going to be using for John McBride.
and also with the St Paul Centre, so
Yeah.
they're happy that that proceeds in that way. So if we delegate that decision, then find out from St Paul's, find out from the clerk about the wider John McBride Community Voices project, and if then they delegate the decision to the clerk and the chair.
Yeah, so we have
So
a
are we-
hearing for this.
Are we saying that?
Councillor Mortimer.
Can I just clarify? So they're just asking for £1,000 just for the printing and everything else.
We're deferring.
Yeah.
We're,
Oh, you're definitely
no,
deferring
we're not
that.
doing
Oh,
this.
but, yeah.
well, not
No,
we're declining
Oh,
that.
you're declining that because it's
Because-
on here and that's what's questioning it.
Yeah, we're declining that.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, I don't wonder
Yeah,
why that was.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Otherwise it doesn't make sense.
No, so the
All right,
two
yeah,
parts
okay.
from it is the 750, which is for the maiden crew,
Right.
and 750 for the Crew's Got Talent. So what
That's
I'm hearing
clearer,
is that
yeah.
the 750 that we defer, we have a conversation with the clerk about the wider
Yeah.
Crew Voices project
Yeah.
and with St Paul's, and if they're happy for that to be done in collaboration, then
Already shared.
we can share. So
Already shared.
yeah, so we're protecting those conversations for
That makes more
future.
I
sense.
think
Yeah.
that's
I
really
mean, the
simple.
Alpha Centre's got much more expertise about
Yeah.
reserve things.
Yes. Yeah.
So for the purposes of the minutes, just before you provide, just so that I'm clear.
Yes.
So we are going to agree to the Cruise Got Talent showcase for 750. We're going to decline the storybook, and then the 750. We're going to speak to them, speak to the clerk about the John McBride Trust, and speak to them, and that's delegated to officer and chair.
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that right? Okay.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Right.
that's it.
Councillor Gray proposed, Councillor Mortimer seconded.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Statue for Ada. So the next one is a statue for Ada that was deferred from the last meeting because they didn't provide constitution document, which has now been received. So I think everybody said it was fine, but we needed to see the document. So we've now had sight of that.
So, do I have a proposer there? Councillor Davis Sains Francis, seconded Councillor Graham. All those in favour?
So
That's unanimous, members. Thank you.
£1,500 approved in
Yeah.
full. Statue for Ada. Thank you. Just move on. The next application is
Sorry, Councillor Rhodes.
I just ask as well, as this is 50 women in history, and
Yes.
it's looking at women in crew,
Yes.
can we please try and tie it in
Yeah.
with the oral history stuff that's going on?
Should I make that part of the agreement?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what I was-
yeah.
Tie in
Yeah.
the straight. Yeah,
Totally
no
agree
problem.
with that.
I shall add that to the.
Yeah.
Good idea.
We'll be going to the archive central.
Yeah.
Before it's even open.
I
Great.
had a meeting with them yesterday. It's all so exciting, isn't it? What's happening? But
Oh,
anyway,
meet with Anya.
the next one is Her Place.
Third place, yeah.
They're asking for £2,000 for a laundrette. They're obviously opening a laundrette in their town centre, and they want a commercial washing machine. I did ask the question, why do you have to have commercial? And she said because they just wear out like that. It's just false economy.
Yeah.
So they need a commercial one. A condition of the funding would be that our branding is all over it, donated by, supported by Crewe Town Council, etc., etc. So
I also think that's a very good price for
Yes.
a commercial one.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and I've seen the ones, the laundrette that we've got at Winsford, which is very highly used, but again, they're using domestic machines and, yeah, so, but it is used.
And that's where it's going to be signed.
Where it's going to be.
Where it's going to be signed.
In this town centre,
town
the new
centre,
shop that the
Oh, in the
O2E
shop, the road.
opening in the town
Well, that
centre.
makes more sense, but it's down from Beach Drive.
Oh,
No.
yeah, no,
Not a very good place.
No,
it's right.
no, it's going to be in the Victoria Centre.
The O2, yeah.
Yeah.
I see that as a premises that we can use and be
Yeah,
involved with.
That's a really good location.
I've signposted quite a few
Yeah.
organisations actually to take up space. So,
I've done the same. Should we
Should we- yeah, so, but, you know.
How we going?
Yeah, so have we got a proposer for this? Councillor Graham seconded, Councillor Daisy, all those in favour? That's unanimous, members, thank you.
Okay, next one.
Hope for more.
I love this book.
Brilliant, aren't
They
they?
are so good, yeah. So, shall I go through? Hope,
Yeah.
Hope for more. They are asking for £1,967.95p. And if you go to page 30, you will see that will cover 6 iPad cases, and 6 iPad pencils, which I think is absolutely great value. They're putting in 20% of the money themselves, and this is all about furthering what they already do to bring themselves up to date, to strengthen and modernise our creative programmes for young people who struggle to attend mainstream education due to anxiety and mental health challenges. And it's digital art, so it has to be an iPad and not a laptop. I feel that the price for 6 is really
Yeah, yeah, so I think
they have
lots-
secured a grant as well from someone else, £500, which
Yes.
is what's
So, Councillor Rhodes.
Can I say that we have refused this very similar application in the past?
yeah, we have, but that was when they first
Because of
established.
where the iPads end up and who owns.
So they own them, and the children use them, and they retain them.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of the one that was at the Luminate one that was at
Yeah.
library where they were going to take them home. These are retained by Hope for More and all the children that go use them in their sort of area.
It's in St Mark's in Bramall Road is where they have a base there, and that's where I've seen the way Sheila carries them in and carries them back out again. So
So they have got some on.
They've had some, but I think they need more.
But their group is growing. It had, the number of students that they actually support, which used to be half a dozen, that it's now more like 24 students. Yeah, I think
It's a wonderful group. She does so much.
And they're actually starting a new project in September. They are working with Year 6 Primary at Pebblebrook School,
Amazing.
who have got an issue with non-attendance, so they have started a project with them.
Excellent.
Yes, exactly.
Councillor White. Because our schools need as much support as they can get, especially dealing with children who are sort of like on the verge.
Yeah.
So if this is seen as a preventative way of stopping kids dropping out of education, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I was a little bit, I think Hope for More are a really good organisation, and they do only deal with children who really can't access school. But it's just monitoring.
Yeah, and as I say, the project that they're going to start in September with Year 6 at Pebblebrook is about more. It's about preventative, and hopefully, before they actually get into high school and start all together. So, anyway, that's. Do I have a proposer? Or any more questions? So, no, proposer. Councillor St Francis, seconded. Councillor Graham. All those in favour? So, anybody against? Anybody abstaining? Councillor Rhodes abstaining. Thank you.
Okay. You will see, just for information only on page 2, we had a couple of applications that we sifted out because they didn't meet the criteria. Dawn and Sally have had sight of them and we're in approval to pull them out. Just so that it's for your info, just so you know who has been trying. Okay.
Can I just ask how much we now have left in the grant?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So if these are write it down actually. So we funded £2,750. Sorry, £2,850 is approved to date. This was before this meeting started. If we approved everything this evening, there'd be an additional 7,967.65. But we already know that we're not approving everything because we pulled out 1750 from St Paul's. So I also do mention that at the start of the business delivery plan update, so I keep you up to date.
So tonight is £6,267.
So
right. So we've approved 285.50, and tonight we would have approved 6,000. It's £217.65.
Yes, that takes us to sort of 8.5. But
that was on the Hope for More grant.
At this time of the year, we have 30,000 in the pot to start with. So obviously we're into our second meeting of the year. We have another 3. So I think that's probably.
So we're just under £20,000 left.
Yeah. So
well,
I
that's
think
a reasonable amount.
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
To move on to item 7.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, Councillor Faith.
Where's New Life Church?
It's on Fuller Drive, so it is outside the Crewe Town Council area.
It was a difficult one because they argued that, all the children who attend are within our boundary, but we just felt we can't, if we start doing that.
It opens the floodgates, doesn't it, to others, so yeah.
I mean, that particularly won't be our boundary.
Yeah.
All the boundaries are changing.
Well, it's not in our boundary now, so.
No, so that got rejected. A Dare to Dream, they just weren't ready. It was a good application, but it just wasn't right, so we put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Item 7. Yeah, item 7. To provide an update to members regarding grants funded through the school grant scheme, whose projects have ended since the last meeting. So I don't intend for us all to go through these. Are we happy to? It's for noting.
Yeah, it's just for noting, and it's just part of what we do. We gather feedback on everything that we fund. and I asked them to submit evaluation forms, which I've shared with you. So it is just a noting.
Any questions, members?
So that's noted.
Noted. All those in favour?
I'd just like to,
Right, Councillor Grove.
just like to say thank you to the people who's, valuations for, letting us know how expensive it was.
Yeah, it's just nice to know, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
you agree these things, it's nice to see the end and what they actually spent it on. So yeah. So I think that's just a noted one. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
So, item 8.
Mate is to consider. So choose your story. Just scroll forward, just loads and loads. Hang on. Choose your story is on. Here's one we made earlier. Hang on. It's after the class report, which is in blue. Okay, page 74.
Right. Yeah. Basically. Okay, to consider funding Choose Your Story for 3 years.
So this is something that we funded through our grant scheme for 1 year. They used the money very wisely. They did really well. It's been a big success story. So I approached them and said, would you submit? Because everything they've built, if we just pull funding, it all collapses. So I approached them and asked them, would you look at a 3-year proposal? And can you submit what you do with it, how you, and you can see it's a very thorough proposal, what you'd spend it on, what difference it would make. I know that quite a few, you've been out to Choose Your Story, Sam. So you have as well.
Yeah.
So if you have a look on page 81 and 80, it shows you exactly what they're spending the money on. Obviously, it's slightly different. It's not a grant application, so we do fund things through the funding that we don't fund through the grant scheme. So they're asking, it's a total project cost of 4,570, and they're asking us for 2,500 per annum against that. So
It's 4,500 a year.
yes. And then there's lots of evaluation here as well.
Any questions, members?
We propose that this is coming out of the EDI funded allocation, of which we have 5,000 in the pot, and we have funded so far Alpha Me, Wishing Well, which we did the diversity event for, the Filipino event on Friday for only. So this will mostly come out of that pot, and it might overspill a little bit into wellbeing, but this will take care of the EDI funding allocation.
Right. Can we do this over the 3 years? Because in 3 years we might not be here. It's all individual. I'm talking about.
Yeah, any proposals, anything decisions that we make will stand. So you can't do with
It's always subject to satisfactory evaluation as well. So unless they did something horribly wrong, we'd fund them for the next financial year.
Yeah. And the SLA will state that they'll get for 3 years. So it legally, technically, it'll be hard to actually withdraw that by any.
Because we've got the election.
Yes, yeah.
And we don't want.
No,
Yeah,
sure.
that's
In that
right.
case, I'd like to propose.
Okay. So
Is there any scope for them to amend what they're now saying they'll spend on with consultants? If they've come up with an idea of something.
yes.
So it is
Variation.
So I would
Yeah,
come
that's
back
the
with a
one, yeah.
variation to
So,
committee.
yeah,
If they decided that actually that's not been
it's not set
successful.
in stone.
No. So it's always subject to evaluation, and I talk to them along the way. And if we've done it before where someone said it's just not working, and then I bring it back as a variation to committee, and we agree or not to reallocate the money.
Good.
So
Any additional
Dennis is-
questions?
How many years are we supposed to support them?
Three, yeah. So that's
Just 1
standard.
year
It's the
one.
year one, which is pretty much what we do now. If we do a successful grant, we then follow on with a 3-year plan to encourage sustainability to the group, and also for us to know what we're spending it on, and it helps with our budgeting, and Yeah, and our planning.
Grants seen as seed funding.
Yeah, so Dennis has proposed.
Dennis has proposed. Anybody wish to second? Councillor Graham, second. All those in favour?
Can I just
Sorry,
ask, the clear again? This is choose your story. It's vibrant women's story.
Yes.
And we have the link.
Yeah.
which agrees with the Archive
Yeah.
Centre, yeah.
Of course, and I'll write that into the service level agreement.
I think
as well.
Councillor Rose got franchise
Yeah,
in the
she has,
Archive
yeah.
Centre.
She's on brownie points
She
tonight.
is, yeah. So, right, so we've got a proposal, Councillor Staines Francis, and a second, Councillor Graham. All those in favour? That's unanimous, members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 9 is then to provide an update to members on the progress of the business delivery plan.
Okay, so I won't go on. There's just a few things that I do need you to make you aware of. If you go to page 88, you'll see that I have written that under grants, I have written in the figure there 2850 approved. 4 applications for consideration this evening. As Dawn's rightly said, it comes to 6,000 and something, but I will keep a track of that and do every time so that members are aware. You'll remember that at the last meeting, we moved some allotment applications over to public services. Jill, Councillor Rhodes, specifically asked to be for those to be monitored so that we wouldn't get people applying for funding from 2 committees. So this was approved at public services, and these people got money from the public services committee. So the agreement now is that the grant applications for anything still coming via me and Katie. If it's to do with allotments, we then filter it off. So that we still retain control and I can still keep my eye on who's being funded. So that was just really for you for noting. Just a bit of an update there on the Apple Pie Club, and that's going really well. The St Paul's Centre there. Then a little change as well. If you go to page 91, Community Development Commissioning, we have £10,000 in the pot. So St Andrew's Church is now not operating for lunch crew. So we had an allocation of 248,299 allocated to lunch crew, but then we also allocated some money for extra sessions that were going to be held at the Caritas Centre, which were going to be kind of wellbeing things with LAF. And that's just changed shape entirely. So I think that we need to reallocate that money, just free that money up back into the lunch crew pot, because what I'm doing with lunch crew, it was originally 2 days. So I've gone back to the Caritas Centre and said, can you help? So the Caritas Centre are now doing 1 day. So they're going to be coming back to me with a bill for that. I've spoken to Hope Church. They're not in a position to do it this year, but would like to do it next year. But we're looking at turning 3 days into 4 if we possibly can. So at the moment that there was 10,000 allocated there, members approved Tuesdays and Fridays. I don't know to write me what I wrote now. So it can't, but alternative providers are currently being hoped from funding one. So if you look at the bottom of page 91, warm spaces / community outreach sessions, members approved 319398. That is now not going to be going ahead. So I think we need just to. Do we need to vote on that, Dawn, just to put it back into the pot for community development? We need to free up that funding so that we can spend it somewhere else.
Yeah. So I propose that is moved back into the health and wellbeing budget.
Yeah, under the community development.
And Councillor Graham seconded. All those in favour?
Okay, thank
Actually,
you.
I think we most probably need a school space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, saying that, there was somebody on the television last night where a care home is actually providing that is a cool space, because their bistro is air conditioned. That is saying to people, come in to have a cool space, have an ice cream, have a nice lolly, ice drink.
Cool them.
Yeah, so it's a social space, but instead of warm space, it's a cool space.
It's
So,
only something that we look at regularly.
yeah. Because it costs a lot of money to have a fan and air conditioning on, etc.
Yeah.
And people, the number of deaths, it was staggering, I thought, yesterday,
Yeah,
that they
did you
said
see
and had 2,500 additional deaths
Yeah,
just in May and June from heat
Yeah.
stroke,
Yeah.
heat-related deaths.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it possibly is something that we, need to be mindful of.
Yeah.
If this is going to continue like this, that it's not just warm spaces, it's cool spaces that are going to be needed as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so on.
Councillor White.
The Caritas and St. Peter's that's really well meeting. There's the monthly meal at YMCA as well.
Yeah.
And when we think, and hope is also quite central, because it's hot, especially in the cold and hot, it's hard to get around. Is there anything towards the, dare I say, the west side of Crewe? Because we've got
If you can suggest somewhere, I'm happy to approach them. Sally put a shout out, didn't you, amongst churches
Yes.
together to see if anyone.
There was a flicker of interest from the Haven.
Oh, okay, but I've never heard from them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
See,
That's
Probably
something out,
the
yeah.
saying
contact Everybody Sports and Leisure about the Queen's Park, which is in the west, and they have done social events there with
Yeah.
gaming sessions, etc. So it's whether or not they are in a position to
deliver
support.
it.
and the Georgia Centre next door, which is it
Yeah.
Wishing Well?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that it's predominantly used for that their scheme adults supported adults. So they would, although they are looking at supported adults, are actually sort of doing a sort of training scheme cafe, aren't they? So perhaps that could be a focus. So we
Shall I investigate Queen's Park and George's?
Yeah.
They've got a great kitchen space. It's
They
just
have,
laid
yes.
out.
And that's what Jan was looking at. That's her next project, is to bring that back up to standard and to use it as a training kitchen for their adults with supported
Can I
adults.
probably be copied into anything?
Of course,
They
yeah,
really like
yeah,
support.
sure,
Yeah.
of course. So you'll see on page 91 that all the dates that I've listed are also in this programme. So every single day throughout the summer holidays, and any holiday, in fact, we'll be putting this day by day on our website to tell people what's on, including everything that's happening at Lunch Crew. So move on from there. Started working on the Star of Light service. I've been speaking to Vine Tree Primary today to see if they want to be the choir for this year. Sorted all the songs out, done the programme for it. That's all coming along nicely. As is Remembrance Sunday. Street Sports has started. Dawn and I have a meeting with the Wishing Well on Friday to discuss the winter street sports and take on board all the things that I've watched the video that was said. I loosely think that maybe we just look at a programme with the Wishing Well that goes from February to October and includes all the holidays, and then we perhaps provide something at Christmas time, maybe leave February out. Before, from Christmas to February, leave that out. I don't know. We're gonna chew the cud with Charles anyway.
Yeah.
And take it from there, and we'll.
Think the dark nights.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and we're also taking on board the fact that there's a gap in delivery in Crewe South.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So page 94. At the moment, there is an RFQ inviting expressions of interest on our website. We have £2,500 allocated for 3 years to support money management advice in Crewe. That's not closing until the end of this month, so I'll let you know when that comes back. We had a similar thing for male mental health, which was scored by Sally, Stuart, myself and Katie. We had an RFQ on the website, and the unanimous successful male mental health candidate was the Modern Tribe Collective. So just for your interest, I included the application from them just so we can have a look through, but they are being match funded by YMCA, so our 2,500 is actually 5, so I thought that was a fantastic thing. Okay, page 99, I just wanted to make members aware that Dove Bereavement Services has changed venues. You can see from the leaflets now, they've gone to Millcroft Medical Centre. They were at the Caritas, but just couldn't afford the rent anymore, so they're doing it for free, if you like, from Millcroft. They also do it online. And I think they also pop up in the cafe, don't they, on Queen's Park somewhere, I think I read. So just really to make you aware of that. the mayor went out to Circus Star, which she said was brilliant. So I included a little bit about that as well because we fund that. We're in year 3 of 3. And then, what did I want to make you aware of that as well? There was something else that I need a decision on. Oh yes, page 102. So one of the things that so I do need a decision on this one. One of the things that our community strategy identified was that the public wanted more access to us. So we all said that we didn't want a strategy that just sat on the shelf that we did nothing with. So I'm just suggesting that potentially from September through to March, we pop up in all the different wards, say 6 different wards, supported by an officer or 2. Invite members to come along to perhaps if say we went there for half a day, we could say, well, because I'm aware there's different parties, would you like to do an hour here or 2 hours there within the same sort of area? And I was thinking that we could involve potentially as many people as possible, really, just to give people advice. We've now got some connections forming with the Citizens Advice Bureau, and I just felt that it might be because they want access to us. Yeah. We can't afford to go and buy a building to do that. So it might just be nice I'll organise it. If you give me suggestions of where you'd like me on your wards to organise it, we'll take our gazebo if it's outside, and all our branding and our sales, and I'll get leaflets printed and we'll advertise it and promote it, and it will be, here's where we are, come and talk to us about anything.
That's an excellent idea.
Yeah.
So this isn't just a decision by this committee, it needs to go to full council, so that actually it's not just this committee that is manning these sessions, that it's full council that are manning these sessions in their wards. So whatever decision we take, we'll take to full council.
Yeah. Do you envisage it just being the councillors for the relevant wards, or anybody going to any?
Well, I think it would be nice to do one in each ward, and I would imagine that each relevant councillor to that ward would want to be there.
Could others go?
I would say yes. I don't see why. I think
there's no reason not to.
We said we'd put some sort of rota together amongst officers so that we're there to support as well.
Is that just town councillors or
town councillors? Yeah, so it would be for us.
But somebody who wear both hats, so
yeah,
so you know, so it's fortunate that if the person comes along and it's a borough council issue, then you might have somebody from both.
I think anyone there with knowledge is a good thing.
Irene.
I know Cheshire East does. You were doing it.
I do, but I do that's a political one. I do a political ward surgery every month. So this is a political. These are promotion of Crewe Town Council, the events, the services which Crewe Town Council support. So and not mine is a ward surgery, but it's only open to Labour.
So I asked him because I know Cheshire East does, because you used to come to my ward and we go around and have a ward round through Central before. So I don't know whether Cheshire East still does anything like that.
No, not from the community development team is what you're talking about. So their community development team does not do neighbourhood ward surgeries.
So I think what I'd be looking for is just some suggestions from, not just from this committee, I'll recommend this for onward sort of recommendation at other committees, but there's no reason why I can't start making a start. The next committee is September.
I think it's really good,
It's the police surgeries.
Yeah.
And really, they keep getting cancelled, or they have lovely. Sometimes they only give you days' notice when they're police. So we can coordinate with them.
Yeah.
Because their beat officers they've got a new team now, and they're proudly saying, it's much more accessible, locality based.
Yeah.
But this would be a great opportunity to know that.
I think it's about us telling them when we're doing them, and if they can come along to ours, because let's get ours fixed in location, in dates, and then we can invite other services or partners to come along to the.
What I'd be looking at doing is doing a timetable that we start to promote. Maybe we could bring the CAB along to a couple, just so that
it's a
people.
fantastic idea.
Yeah, I think it would be
Yeah.
a good thing to do. The library have said they're happy to host if you want to do anything there. There's obviously space there and it's air conditioned. But yeah, just have a thing, and if you wouldn't mind just dropping me an email of where you might like it on your board, and then I'll start to put a programme together.
Yeah, Councillor Gray. I think we should really emphasise the fact that it's not part of politics.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that would be welcome. So
That's
that's it.
properties with the
Yeah, Guinness.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, if you get some suggestions into me,
Yeah,
then
because
I'll have a chat.
I go to the Guinness surgeries
Mhm.
that they hold at the YMCA in Waverley Court. I go to those as well. So yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
So
Okay.
was that approved?
So propose.
We need a proposal.
Propose Councillor Mortimer.
And me.
Propose Councillor Mortimer, second Councillor White. All those in favour? That's unanimous, members. Thank you.
Thank you. The last one is library support funding. I've told them that I want a proposal from them in time for the next committee meeting, just so you can have first glance at it. Obviously, it's not for approval; it's just for noting. So hopefully, she's going to get that to me before the agenda goes out in September. I think we're done.
So item 10 is just to note the date of the next meeting, which is Tuesday the 6th of October.
We'll scarily be here before we know it.
And I will have to give my apologies because I'm on my way back from Seville.
Oh, get you.
I might be back.
Oh, you're
but, eh?
So you in Sally Spain.
So,
6:40.
yeah.
Jill's
Yeah.
got a hand up.
Councillor Rhodes.